great to hear some tips from the #1 team currently. Don't know how long for. In-game leader Gustav there with Froz, getting a lot of information. Like to the explanation of how it played out, especially that Sosnovka one. It was a pretty epic finish, that one, as you and me covering that one. I think it was week 1, week 2, something like that. That Sosnovka circle.
It was pretty cool because we were talking about...
That was the one where he got knocked out at the nade, right?
Yeah,
he was like, get away, get away!
It was good because, as well, we said coming into this phase, we were looking forward to watching how players can react to the clambering and the climbing and everything else, and it was like, oh wow, someone's actually making use of it.
Iro was like, we can go up here.
You
know was like, oh?
Spider-Man, just get on top, boys, and make use of it. Usually you'd find yourself in a compound like that, you'd have to run the extremities of it, or even maybe go through the middle, in which case you're just going to get body on arrival, but they went a different way. They're up and over, essentially.
Yeah.
But yeah, the grenade ones, I didn't catch it at first, and you went, you had a grenade there.
Yeah.
And we could just hear him screaming from the thing, get away, get away!
Interesting note, I like the discussion about rotations, about the changes, because that was almost the meta, right? 2018, the meta was, the circle shifted there, we're going to take a big north rotating, we're going to take a big south rotating, or if you're DA, you just bomb center. But now he's saying, well, if you stop and calmly approach it, you obviously, instead of taking 3 to 4 minutes to rotate around all the way around the north, you move, you scout, you move, you scout, you move, you scout, and you might find yourself a much better position anyway than if you'd took this really long rotate. Yeah. So great to see. I mean, these are the multiple different ways that you can play PUBG. There is no tried, tested, done, absolute correct way to play it, which is the great thing about the game itself. But here we are, match 52. We are well over the halfway point now. The final game of Miramar for today. FaZe Clan picking up 20 points, but the Knights, is it 19 points, 18 points behind them in that last game? They're loving life, the Knights, in that last matchup. This playing path, though, a bit further south, it's going to go over towards Porto Paraiso, Los Leones, and up towards Pozo.
Yeah, 19 points in total. Not too bad to say that they shouldn't have even been allowed to get into that predicament. And I still can't stress how good it was. We're seeing it more with PUBG as things do get down to... Okay, there was every scenario that kind of went right for it, but we can see those slow, methodical kind of engagements where we can see what's happening and the mindset of the players, put up the smoke, get the vehicle, not using it as a battering ram, so to speak, but basically hard cover. You even saw he actually ejected from the passenger side, so he quickly swaps seats, ejects out of that side, and it denies any line of sight. I mean, I'd love the analyst to take that and be able to break it down further. Again, content that we've just seen with Froz discussing with players and such is what we want to see. We want to understand more the mentality and the thought process of who makes these calls, why these calls are made. I mean, I still think it speaks a bigger volume. FaZe Clan won that game, but right from the very start, you saw what position they took. And, okay, you could say, well, the circle kind of came to them, but they knew what was a strong place to move to, what was a strong place to go to. And these teams that are going to have really good IGLs, working with the coaches, working with the analysts, you get down to these points where you can't read the map as such, but you know what's strong and what's not.
If anyone from Desperados would have had a gun there, that's 3 in a vehicle for G2. Okay, TomiL has got jumped out. He's jumped into passenger seat, hasn't he?
Are they chasing? Oh, please get us that. Yes, they are. They're
He's passenger seat.
Oh
He switched passenger seat. He hasn't got enough in the gun.
That would have been ridiculously sick if it had had a driver and just chased it down.
4-man done.
Oh,
yeah.
that'd have been so good.
Because they got nothing. They just landed, got a car and gone further north. But the circle, by the way, it is a south circle. And this is one of the ones we've seen a number of times. Now, obviously you guys out there would have seen a lot of these hotspot graphics where circle tendency tend to go. Now, this is obviously based on cities, mountains, water, various circle paths that will pull away from it. Now, with this circle, obviously there is the massive Los Leones. Now, we have had finishes in Los Leones. It's not like it doesn't happen, but it rarely happens, yeah. Which does mean that it tends to be the strip of land either to the southeast sort of area of Los Leones that tends to be the main occupied area. That is kind of the central point right now. It is just south of Los Leones is the center point, so we expect to see a lot of teams all hitting those compounds around there. It's a problem for Navi, who are just getting into La Cabrera.
Yeah, it's because of again, generally speaking, we avoid loss learners altogether, especially the eastern side of it. From top to bottom, you can go all the way north to south and just work your way around.
Oh, they hit 400. I didn't notice that.
Yep, 400-point club only just. FaZe has caught up quite significantly, though. 10 points is pretty damn good.
It was a 28-point gap, I think, at the start of today. So
they've certainly... Let's have a look at the points. 2019, 13, 13, 10 from CrowCrowd. Imagine if CrowCrowd have actually held them back, though. Held back the Knights. That's 4...
30-point gap, obviously.
Yeah. Who had a rough one? Oh, wow. ENCE and Liquid. 0 points. 9 through 14th, 1 point each. No.
Well, Liquid just, I don't know what's going on. Sometimes Liquid have a great game. Sometimes they have a horrible game. The consistency seems to have gone out of them at the moment. And obviously, you know, talking to them about Erangel, they just don't really know. Nothing seems to be working for them on Erangel at the moment. They didn't really know themselves exactly what it is. Well, they probably do, and they just don't want to tell me. It is more to the point. But yeah, there's been a lot of problems on Erangel. So they're going to be looking to try and get as many points as they can from the likes of Miramar and Sanhok next before they hit Erangel, because it hasn't gone so well. But they are on the move. They are going to be looking at the central point along with GamerLegion, 7, DA. Everybody's sort of looking for these central points. 7, of course, coming out of Lost the Owners, will be in the first spot. Bjorn's rolled his car, and he had a chance, but not anymore.
I can't count how many times Bjorn dies first. I feel sorry for the man. It's always the first one to go on this team.
It's a problem because he's the IGL.
Is it a problem though?
You get to watch spec everybody else, right?
Yeah, I think Lauren mentioned it last week.
Yeah.
Like, you can at least sit back and then do something.
And actually focus on leading the 3 guys. But
it does suck dying first, not only on the server,
do you keep that respect of your teammates when you keep dying first? Yeah, it's like that the whole mix.
Maybe we should be changing something, boys, if we're dying all the time.
Well, we just saw GamerLegion go down there. Team Liquid are passing the exact same area with 7. Now Gemty is getting launched, and this is 7 trying to pick up as many as they can here. They've got the ones. I don't think they're going to be happy with this. Gemty's had to bail out. Team Liquid all pulling in. Oh my god, this can't go well. Surely. I thought they were going to catch each other in the crossfire, but it doesn't matter. James Gemty down. Oh my god, T-Bone getting involved as well. And Team Liquid, they can't be going out early again, surely.
What is going wrong, boys? Gemty's gone. Samty's forced to heal up. Jimbo's bleeding out the wayside. Ibby's damaged.
CrowCrowd, I want to see you being aggressive here, son.
I think he will be. Like, for them, it's just a matter of they're wounded. Just force them into a position where they're dead.
There's Samty. Samty, oh no, he's caught at the head as well. Ibby's got the last line of defenses here. Not good for Ibby. Gets himself a headshot. Manages to take Buster down, but he's surrounded. Sees another. CrowCrowd down. Hello. That one's stolen away.
GamerLegion's helped him out here.
Yeah, a bit of help, but they've also finished off Samty, so it's like help in one hand.
Who's turning up? Is this another team, or is this
Edelweiss?
Okay, Edelweiss. So now they can take the 2 of us.
What else has he got? Doesn't matter. Headshot down. Team Liquid 16th place again. And that's, well, they got 2 points from that, right? Because, no, they got 1 point. They got 1 kill.
I'll double check. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, they got, in the previous round, they got
nothing.
No,
I mean, they got 1 kill. Though.
Oh, sorry,
they
excuse
just got
me.
1 kill there. Maybe he did, but, oh, yeah.
Who cares? That's nothing.
Well, maybe they're going for the record. Maybe they're going for that 1 point record. And they were trying to beat it with the 0 points. AB, what are you doing? But no, it's yeah. I mean, that's not probably how the twins envisage their birthday weekend going.
Although, okay, so here's something else, and I'll kind of throw this one into the twist and then to the plot. Maybe this shows Liquid what the hardest of times can be like, because they've always been a team that's kind of on a high. This is a new avenue for them, and how they react to this will kind of show how good they are as a team. When you were at your lowest point, sometimes you turn it around and you become the best players in the world. Like,
there's also that because there's, I mean, us ourselves are guilty of it. There's that element of expectations. Team Liquid will be at PGC.
Yes.
And maybe that sort of, you know, it can breed the, we're going to be there, don't worry, it'll always get better. Hell, we had the same with ENCE, right? Don't worry, they'll sort it out. Don't worry, they'll sort it out. Yeah, it's... we should also not go too heavy into it, because James has been full of flu for the last week, so when your IGL's not feeling the best, I guess we'll sort it out. But I have faith. I have faith in the Liquid boys. They'll sort something out. 17 will get the mental coaching going and
more massaging.
Rigorous. That's it. Massaging, etc. That needs to come out. Everything needs to get working for them, and hopefully they'll sort their problems out. But at the moment, they are down. 16th place. First team gone, and anyone that's chasing that top 5, top 4 will be happy about that because they'll be thinking we have a chance here, boys.
Yeah, coming into this, there was 62 points clear when you talk about the top 5. But NIP, I mean, thankfully for them, I say thankfully as if that's a bad thing. Thankfully for Liquid, NIP had a rough game in the previous round, but they are closing the gap. NIP are nipping at the heels quite literally. They've turned things around. That is a team that we expected to do big things and just didn't perform for the first few weeks, but has got itself together, and the old cogs and whistles have been oiled, and it seems to be going the right way this time round, which is good because, again, NIP is a team that I, not only from an individual player perspective, but from a brand as well, would expect to be seeing at PGC.
Well, Miraku's kind of found himself a location. I wouldn't say it's a great one. Near Digital Athletics 6mo. And where's the circle going to go? Oh, it's a big south one still. It's continuing down. It's what we expect. As I was talking about, you see there, obviously, Los Leones, this southern area, all these sort of ridge lines south of Los Leones from the east to the west is kind of where we expect most of these circles to pull. That's why the teams were positioning themselves for it. Great position for N47 right now. Obviously, sitting central. DA had to fight for their position as well. 7 just going to condense and join their spot. It means everybody scouting it like FaZe Clan may well be moving into the backside, or are they going to go straight into 7? I'm watching the map right now. I think they may well pull up and scout it beforehand on the next ridge line, but I'm not seeing them stopping. I think FaZe might be the next victims. They're going straight into 7.
Initially, when we saw the opener come out of Buster, he didn't quite get the vehicle. He got some damage on them, and there wasn't the initial knock, so maybe the saving grace is that it does take a little bit of time to get those. I mean, up close and personal, they're a very strong
if the
team.
Knights pull up here on that little area there, that's a bigger problem for FaZe because that will overlook down on 7 and FaZe, which is what you can see at the moment. Which is why 7 are now shooting at Knights because they realise if we lose this ridge line, suddenly we're in a bit of trouble, and that is what's happening. Now the Knights are then going to turn their attention, look downhill, and see, oh look, there's another team in the distance as well. Let's try and pop some shots on there. See if Drayden's got one of those M24s he likes rocking.
Just thinking where it's going to be quite a strong. I mean, there is still this good hard shift more towards the north, and we could actually be more where reciprocities end. Maybe that's why they're hanging around that position.
Well, they were just late, I think. They were just obviously with the position where they loot. Oh no! Does he see Tiikzu? He does hear him now. Aduzi did just hear him and pulls the gun out just in time, but it wasn't quick enough, and Tiikzu will take him down. Some big plays from the Finn.
Commit a bit of utility. Clearly don't have the information where the rest of Na'Vi are going to be lingering. So it will ward them off and will make them and force them
Rich,
into hiding.
I want to hit this point. Okay. Are we seeing the Na'Vi slump again? They've not had some good times, have they? Again, they either have like an amazing week, or they just sort of don't do anything. There hasn't really been many weeks where they haven't won games, though. They've kept consistency with that because they've got 6 wins overall.
Let's have a look at them. So week 1, top, cleared by 3 points. Week 2, 9th overall. Week 3, 3rd. So it wasn't bad, a bit of a bounce back. And we're in week 4 now. Okay, we're only 1 day in, but they're down in 12. So it's a bit on and off, a bit hot and cold. I will go with that. I think the problem is with Na'Vi is that you can just never underestimate them because individually, they're freaks with a gun. They are so damn good when it comes to individual fragging prowess.
My problem with Na'Vi at the moment is you can write off Sanok. They've had one good performance on Sanok. That's it. They've just not either. It either doesn't suit them as a players. They've either not practiced it enough, or I don't know what it is, or they're just the position on the map they're playing from. They're having problems working the way out. Which actually, if you think about yesterday, they were going round quarry, round quarry, round quarry, trying to figure out which way they could go, and ended up getting caught in that shack, if you remember rightly.
So I'll probably say that for Sanok, for me, with a team like Na'Vi, I'll just quickly see where this one goes. Okay, nice, usual.
Centers up, that's good.
For a team like Navi, they like to clear their edges. They like to keep a wide berth away from teams. Hence, when we look towards Erangel, we don't see the bridge encampments and so on and so forth. They'll clear edges, they'll skirt borderlines, and they'll make sure that there aren't teams in their vicinity. If there are, they'll push them aggressively, they'll kill them, and they take control of whatever quadrant of the map they have. With Sanhok, it just doesn't allow that.
You can't do it,
you just simply can't do it. It doesn't fit their play style, it doesn't suit their play style. Teams encroach on their position, there's always teams lingering, and you know, I'm not saying that they can't control, because they can, but the problem is it's not their usual way of playing.
It's interesting. It reminds me, actually, now they say that, it reminds me of how FaZe used to say about Miramar, because they used to be historically bad at Miramar. They've got obviously a lot better at it now. And Fuzzles used to say, look, we're a team fighting team. We want to take fights, which is what suits us on Erangel. We want to take these fights, flanking, etc. We just couldn't get it right on Miramar. Now it obviously works for them, and like you say, with Navi, it actually makes a lot of sense of how it works. But here we go. TSM took a long rotate, by the way, ironically, after hearing Gustav talking about the scout and move. They had obviously scouted it and thought, yeah, we're going to have to go way around the side here. They went all the way around Los Leones and come completely down the eastern side and slowly moving in on the edge.
But how many times do we see TSM,
and
G2, NIP and CrowCrowd out here? Okay, they've gone for more on the northern side, but how many times do we see them just... I suppose that comes down to where they land, where they like to rotate, but again, repetitive tendencies. You're always, for me, when you are on this side of the circle, at a bit of a deficit, because it's a bit of an uphill battle. Literally. Especially, quite literally, it's an uphill battle. And all these teams are bunkered in. They have the houses, they have the compounds. I don't like playing off of this east side. I think it's difficult to do so. You're always chasing your tail and just following the circle in.
Oh, MBS, you're on your open, son. That is very open. He got lucky with that. The fact that DA completely missed their shots and then gets the cover fire returned as he scurries away. I think MBS is very lucky to survive that. Just trying to, I mean, you know what he was doing. He was scouting the ridgeline. He's like, I feel there's someone scurrying up here. Let's have a quick look. And it was. DA had come out of their compound and tried to encroach their position.
And that's the right thing to do. Rather than fighting a team when they're at the doorstep of your compound, you should be being proactive. You should be keeping them at bay. Yes, there will be scenarios where you may overstep your boundary and trip over a player or two, or even lose one but just by looking. But I'm fine with it. That's the way to play it. I'm liking the fact that DA have a compound and they're not just sitting back and holding it. They are going and looking.
They were actually proactive. Yeah, maybe they listen to us.
Look, we keep saying it. There's no BM in calling out things that we see from players. Individually, they can play this game. It's just changing a few things up, making things click, and DA will be into that top 10 in no time.
What do FaZe Clan do here? We saw them approach, obviously, Seven's compound earlier on. Now they're getting in the vehicles. Are they going to go further south? Are they going to try and rotate away from 7? Or are they going to try and just crash the compound? Which I think may happen. CrowCrowd are doing it. CrowCrowd are on the move. They're going to go straight towards 7's compound. They have crashed straight into it. FaZe Clan are going to be watching this from behind. Look at Aitzy's position. He may well cause some serious problems here. If he can catch a nade, he might be able to catch all 3 of them off. Sadovnik will get the spray down. This is giving FaZe all the information they need. The rest of the FaZe players are getting ready and getting positioned. The problem is they're getting engaged upon by GamerLegion as they try and rotate as FaZe. There it is. Oh no, mxey got caught in it. Oh, no. Aitzy will do the damage though as Misa goes down.
How did that happen?
It was the vehicle down south, right? It was GamerLegion. Yeah, GamerLegion were popping on.
Must have exploded it, and it has. Okay, fair enough. A little bit of a casualty there for FaZe, but I think he can get the pickup. I didn't see the death, so
he's back on his feet. He's back on his feet. But that was like the counter breach to follow the breach. That would have been an epic moment.
Nice and clean.
Yeah, CrowCrowd would have been sandwiched between in 7. But now Timmy's just having to send it and see what he can get from this. I mean, he's going well into the blue, possibly even just denying. And FaZe have moved in on the back of this, so they've seen what 7 have to offer. Now, I don't believe 7 lost anyone in that engagement. They did not. So they still have the 3 in here, because obviously Kravik was lost earlier on to Ibiza.
The bigger problem is with this circle. Actually, no, it's not a big problem at all. It's a great thing. There is no real reading it. This now can end anywhere. And this is where fighting becomes extremely good. You have to use your breaches, you have to use your teamwork. And at the moment, it's eliminate every single team, remove that land from them and make it yours. And that's exactly what FaZe Clan are doing. They want to take this compound away from 7, eliminate them from the map, and then they can assess the situation and move with the circle.
Trying to flush the rooms there. Edelweiss will get mxey down, but not before ubah will finish him off, so that should be another revive. mxey obviously just got took down a moment ago. There is somebody in the building right next to him. If they were to Fuzz, how has Fuzz managed to suddenly pop up on the roof? There you go. By the way, all that's happening, obviously, in the picture-in-picture here, you can see Aitzy going for the gun down. That is going to be 7 gone. Desperados and G2 are basically in a knock-in match, right, back and forward. Looks like Desperados may come out on top if Yannis will get dealt with here by Ultra, because NELLOZ and Chris are both down. No, NELLOZ is back on his feet, actually, tell a lie. ENCE and DAO are third party in this the whole time. DAO have already picked up, I think, 2 or 3 kills. I was watching the little feed down the bottom there. Yannis will go down. NELLOZ now the last man standing.
Yeah, Mud's in a building, and ABeautflDeath has gone to the edge of the white just to keep an eye line straight down and look toward the south. ENCE have sent 2 off. A couple of sniffer dogs trying to find out a few kills here. There won't be a direct line of sight. I'm kind of questioning how far they do want to extend, because if they go down, there's no reviving them. And ENCE's compound basically becomes null and void then, because anyone can just breach it. So, oh my god, if he lands this, this could be absolutely perfect. Grenade does.
Oh. Doesn't quite work out for him. It's one of those moments, you know, when you're a player and you're like, I could take the whole team. I could do it. I could do it. Take the whole team.
There was a chance.
But the problem is that half the time these pro players, they react so quickly. We saw last week when Fuzzface took that absolute 180 spin and took someone's head off in the breach compound. These players can react so quick to exactly what has happened and the position of the bullets. Even when the pin gets pulled, they'll spin around to it.
Maybe you could have said his teammates were disconnected from him for that kind of play to happen, because now mxey is just running the gauntlet of death, and they are gone in 14th. Had he fed that information back to his team that all struck at the right time and been there, then maybe they could have pincered TSM and done some damage. The grenade ultimately doesn't do as much as, honestly, what I wanted to see. It would have been fantastic.
How many points are they on at the moment?
Who's that?
Raise your edge. What are
Raise your edge. Total, you are looking at, excuse me,
because they got 1 yesterday.
Yeah, 259, mate. It's a bit of a fall from grace.
Yeah, what's the daily points?
Oh, daily?
Because that's another low finish for them. They may be going for a record
Day
weekend.
1 yesterday for Raise Your Edge was 1.
1 point, yeah.
Today it's 1. 2 if you class that kill.
Oh, that's a big yikes, isn't it? That is 3 points. 3 points from a weekend so far, and we are approaching the halfway mark of the week.
It is when they were up there and they were kind of contesting for the top 5, top 6.
They closed into the top 4 they had done, but Hamster taking mxey down there. Aitzy, though, will be able to get the revive straight on him, so FaZe will keep themselves afoot. Fuzz is down as well. ubah's quite a way off to try and join him and get the revive in. So we'll see whether they get the smokes down. Looks like Aitzy's going to be the man to make the run.
I think TSM could clean up here. If they've got the grenades, they could quite easily clear up both of these teams, both GamerLegion and FaZe.
Yeah.
Oh, wanted. That's a 2 for 1.
Yeah, that's reciprocity done and dealt with. ubah's trying to do what he can and will get caught out by TSM. This is what we're talking about.
Helmet's
TSM
gone.
coming down the other side of the road. They're sweeping down. They're looking towards mxey's little area now. They're going to catch them down in that little ridge line. Gustav, little cheeky underhand nade.
If that's cooked, that could be sick.
That will catch them. Fexo was going to return. He's got one of his own. But Iroh will do the damage and comes over the top. Rory is out of the flames. Just about.
Burning.
He's safe. He's safe.
So my only thing for FaZe is what's left in the tank when we look towards...
I was about to say Michael's flank could be good, but Page comes around and gets the side in N47, causing problems on them. They could get the third party on both of these teams from down here. Page giving all the information and saying, guys, leave the compounds, get over, get all these kills, get what we can. Aitzy with 4 kills and counting as he sees a bike pop up. Didn't react to it. I think Fuzz was shooting in, making sure it goes down. Iroh in the smoke. He's going to try and peek around on the road. And as we said so many times, as soon as you hit that roadside, it is Death Valley. I'm surprised TSM came out so badly, though, against FaZe there.
Yeah, the thing for FaZe was how many helmets they'd lost, the chests, everything. There've been a few engagements. They've had a fair amount of knocks. So they were definitely damaged. Little note on Page's laser sight as well for that hip fire from the SKS, which it's always going to be great usage in that range.
So next fight is this one. The Knights, obviously, looking at FaZe, but they have to worry about NIP. Their back flanks. The Knights have got a massive wide spread at the moment. Yeah.
the laser sight on SKS.
You got to go with what you got.
Whatever's left, you know. You've got to
and the
make it
Knights,
work.
they're in the northern side. They've gone across the road. There's still neither of them in the circle. FaZe are going to make the push. They're going on towards the backside of N47. But this is the fight now as the Knights. NIP have actually made the run. You can see there's the Murado they managed to get across with.
Just be aware of Miraku's position. He's behind them. He could completely flank all of this and throw it all into the wind.
And there he is, taking shots actually down on... Was that FaZe he was shooting at as well down there further south? I think
he was tapping up Znak because now they've all just turned him faced and from...
DA are coming in behind the NIP. DA are moving in behind NIP. They're actually coming out of their compound. And they're going towards the crate, of course. Miraku, the road crossings are so savage in this game.
He looked away at the wrong time. He's getting smashed through the smoke, though. That's rather unfortunate. He will go down. The DA boys are holding the northern ridge line. And when I say that, it's basically the edge of the circle. They will play border control. All these teams need to come towards them. This could be an absolute tanking of frags if they manage to land the shots.
Yeah, they've managed to send it. And Navi have managed to get center point, but they're going to get caught out by ENCE, I believe, as they get there. Miraku will get finished off. Snark, as soon as he comes across, will go down. And NIP pick another one. A beautiful death now, trying to spray down everything, but not really hitting the mark at the moment. A beautiful death, though, doing what he can. And look at this. DA cleaning up at the moment. They will get caught out, and then they've actually maybe gone down.
Bad and Wanted doing a bit of work on them. That's still there in the open. That's a response and a half, though. 1 HP in a mere dream, but DA do come out on top. They keep 2 players alive, potentially.
Knights have still got one in there that can get the revive off, though. FaZe Clan are moving on N47. Here's ENCE looking towards Navi. This is the center circle position. Bestlos getting taken down. Pokemon doing now the last man standing. There's Page down. We saw him with the laser sight. Not working out for him this time, but Vascu absolutely delivers on the hillside. Takes both FaZe, Fuzz, and Ubah down. ItzzChrizZ, and that is FaZe gone in 7th place. N47 eliminating them and getting themselves just 1 death for it. So now they've got to reposition. They've got to get T-Bone back on his feet.
Bit of a windy shot there, cost him his life. 2 players they're going up against. It's always going to be hard. Wanted and Reals need to do the work here against SIMSY and Co. Otherwise they'll be in trouble. He takes down SIMSY. The other player that was with him was already tanked up. Mitraleius is the next obstacle in his way should Reals win this.
Nothing. He's got no cover at all there, is he? If Mitraleius just slightly pushes it, Reals is going to get the heal off, though.
He might bait the heal, you know. He might wait for him to go for it. That's a fully kitted M4. That'll do some damage.
NELLOZ tapped out. 6th place for them. ENCE still with 4 alive as they flank around. They're starting to take circle position, so while this is all happening...
It's inside,
it's inside! He's burning! Mitraleius is on fire! He's got nowhere to go. He's just going to try and heal through it. I'm not too sure that's going to work out for you, son. You're going to burn. 1 more tick. Is it just enough? Yes, he gets it. The boost's working in his favor, but he's still on fire. It finally goes out, but Reals has completely pushed a position, and Mitraleius will go down. Nice play with the... I think it was a double molly, right?
Yeah, first one outside, second one through the window. And then it'll just travel on. There's nothing you can do about that. That's a really, really good usage of it. Flushes them out, waits for them, and keeps the Knights up into the top 5. Good work again from Reals. They had a banging round in the previous one. It's only continuing here. As a one-man band, you have to question how far he can go in this one, but the circle has been quite favourable towards them. It goes more towards the north. So we go down. The only team with 4 alive will be ENCE. So far, they've been playing a really good 2-2 split this time. It's the same scenario. Reals has opened fire, so he's giving away his position.
Another 10 kills for the Knights. What another great game. That's, what, 14 kills in the last game as well?
Not a bad effort, is it?
They've been hitting in the shots today, that's for sure.
I suppose he's got a little cabinet that he can just... Oh, he's seen him. Just take all the body boxes that he's got left. The fact that Pokemon is not healing kind of speaks bigger volumes of what Na'Vi was working with. Instant kill. Top 3 alive. 3 players still for M47. Reals could be a bit of a spoiler here for ENCE. Should he be able to just take 1 player down?
Well, for N47 and the Knights, obviously they're chasing those top 6 positions. For ENCE, they were down in, I think, 13th position. They need all the points they can at the moment, so a win here could be crucial for them. As you can see, they've not been that active with just the 4 kills so far, which was pretty much on G2. Reals continuing to prove a little problem as he keeps the shoulder peeking the edge there on miikaz.
He's been a bit of a
He's looking. I mean, he's tanked up. Look at him,
hasn't he? He's just keeping them at bay, which allows M47 to kind of reposition in this circle. If ENCE aren't careful, M47 will creep closer and closer and really... Oh, okay, never mind. Ival is going to be in trouble. That vehicle's smoking. He's
got there, though. He's managed to get there, and he's behind the tyre, which is obviously part of the tractor tyre. Won't be able to go down.
Don't go near it. Don't go near it.
Just needs to smoke it up. FaZe from range. That's some good shots. Managed to land a few on SKUIJKE. Caught him again in the smoke. Doesn't manage to get the finish. He wants to spray and try and get what he can. Doesn't manage to get the lucky tap, which is what he was looking for. They need to get something. T-Bone's on the flank as well. He's actually up above Reels at the moment. So T-Bone may well cause problems for Reels as miikaz tries to keep them at bay up the top.
Been seeing TRYFFELI wandering around with his car 98 for a while. That does Reels a favour, actually. Now he'll turn around and maybe even pick that one up. That's a really good tap, though, from Rustanmar. That opens things up really nicely. And this should be ENCE's game to win. Yeah, that's the damage done. FaZe just going to bleed out in that smoke, see what he can. He will go down in the blue. And Reels, second again. Another second place for the Pittsburgh Knights. Another 10 kills to go with it. This is some big points today for the Knights. It is working well. 1v4, imagine. Let's see. Goes for the one. We'll get one. Goes for the second. Not going to work out. TRYFFELI will flush it through. It's a 9-kill win for ENCE. They're going to be happy about that. Obviously, a lot of the damage was done in the north. We saw NIP, the Knights, FaZe, TSM all engaging with one another. Don't forget about 7 taking down Team Liquid in 16th place once again in this matchup. But yeah, the Knights are going to be loving life right now. It's a lot of points back-to-back. 19 points in the last game as well, don't forget. So another 16 from this one. A great day for them so far. 0 to hero, though, from ENCE, from coming off the back of a 0-point game dead last in 16 to jump to top of the board in game number 2. It's a wonderful little bounce back. Rather unfortunate for Team Liquid because that's 2 bottom place finishes simultaneously. They are going into Sanhok, so at least for them it's going to be a bit of a reprieve because they are not too bad at it, to be fair. So time to make a stance, but at the moment, we have to fixate on ENCE. Overall standings in the league is 14th. It's not great. Has the bounce back returned? Let's jump in with Pala to ask the questions and find out.
Let's jump in with Parla, says Richard. That's exactly the plan. I'm walking over to chat to ENCE. Guys, congratulations. Can I ask what you're talking about right now? What are the initial conversations right after the matchup?
I mean, we were just discussing because we were kind of forced to go south because N47 took the big hill like north of us, so we thought we'd have to play from the south, so it kind of paid off that they were quicker than us in that sense.
You're currently 14th on the leaderboard. What has been happening so far over the last few weeks? I know I've spoken to you once or twice at this point in the competition. What's going on in the team?
I think we are getting our rhythm back slowly. Like yesterday was good, Sunday was decent, and today this was good, even though the first game was kind of yikes. So we're getting there. We're getting there.
I know I touched upon this with you guys the last time we spoke, but from phase 1 to 2 to 3, what differences have there been?
No, I don't think there are. We kind of lost like will to win, to be honest, and our comms are lacking a lot lately, but now they're getting better, like better and better. So we just need to keep the comms like good and clear and like keep the focus on the game all the time and not.
Talking about focusing on the game, Rustanmar, just give me an overview of that matchup. It looked like you guys played a very solid match.
Yeah, we just scouted forward. SKUIJKE went to that warehouse we stayed at for most of the game. He walked there, we scouted, and then we just sent it to there in the second circle when we saw it was a good place, and we know we can play pretty decently from there. Like there's a lot of good ridges north of it, like super solid ridges. So we just fought our way in from there.
TRYFFELI, final question to you. Sanhok next. You guys feeling confident?
Yeah, we're feeling very confident about Sanhok.
Your teammates are giggling a bit. Is that ironic, sarcastic at all?
Kinda, yeah.
All right, well, guys, I want to wish you the best of luck. Congratulations on that chicken dinner. ENCE taking it. Let's head back to the desk.
And so with a much needed win here on the board for Phase 3. Interesting to hear from them as well, especially SKUIJKE, the kind of thoughts as to how they've been progressing throughout these phases. Lost a little bit of the will to win is an interesting thing to take away from that. But regardless, they get themselves a win here. And I personally still have faith that they will get themselves out of relegation spots. They seem to, as SKUIJKE mentioned, be kicking it back into drive a bit.
Yeah, I mean, they got 3 wins on the board right now, and it's not looking too bad. Honestly, even if they're down there in 14th place before this game, they're still not too far ahead to getting out of those relegation spots.
And all, I mean, we talked about before this, like, what have changed for ENCE, what is kind of the rough spots here. I'd like to see how they were able to rotate. What they need to do as well, when you have an inferior loot spot, right?
Yes.
We would like to see you rotate out earlier so you can get to the location of where you want to play from, to also be able to have time to loot that spot before you start defending it, before you start scouting further as well. That's kind of one of the tactics, at least, when you have one of the really bad loot spots, compared to some of the teams that have a whole town to themselves, like Elazaha, Picard, or some of these spots like that.
What I like from ENCE in this game was how they were rotating. Throughout, they went for far south side, and they basically took control over the whole south side and east side pretty early into the game, and then they just moved on from there, just swept the ground and make sure that they could kill everybody and have the high ground towards the end.
And also interesting to hear from miikaz, and he said here, they're expecting them to take more control of the northern side, so they're already preparing for that kind of counter-stratting that as the game goes on, and that's kind of that's one of the interesting things, that there's so much strategy that goes into the game that has to happen. Like, it's nearly kind of, you need to think so much ahead, and your strategy is on the go, on the fly. And for them to say, you know what, guys, we think they're moving up here, we need to move in this position. It's just a big game of chess here, especially in a game like this.
I mean, you got to think like 2 steps ahead, making sure,
Exactly.
all right, this is a circle. Well, for 2 circles ahead, we want to be there.
Yeah.
9th through 16th, as GamerLegion gets themselves 3 points on the board, along with 7. Unfortunately, once again for Team Liquid, a bit of a bomb out here in this game. Not the best start for the Liquid boys here when it comes to Miramar. 1 through 8 up to the top, 19 points going in for ENCE. Another good game for Pittsburgh Knights, gentlemen.
Yeah, another good game for Pittsburgh Knights, but also for N47. Trying to climb there, trying to get that chicken dinner, but once again, the dreams are shattered by ENCE.
It seems like, for today at least, Avenger, Knights is very well attuned to the games.
I would say so. I talked to Drayden just before the game, and he said he was ready for today. He had everything prepared. He even had his lucky amulet with him, so he could go into the game and, you know, just frag out like they have. And so far, I really like what they like. The tendencies you see from them. I feel like they're really well prepared for this.
Yeah.
I mean, in 2 games now, they had 23 kills. That's a lot. If they can keep on going with this, they're going to push themselves back up there and be on the PGC spot.
Exactly, as we talked about in the opening segment, they're already extremely close. So for them to continue this, they're putting themselves in a contest for this PGC spot here. Won it, of course, with 5 kills.
I'm going to say it every single time. I still want Big Head Wanted back. When are we going to get Big Head Wanted? But he got in 1st place after getting a 5th place in the previous game. That's fantastic.
On 4th place, we have Ival, though. We thought, when we saw Ival getting the tractor position there, that would be the winning move, actually.
Yeah.
Him getting there, and then you had T-Bone rotating on the north side, trying to get another angle. The key thing was that none of those 2 could get knocked. If they get knocked, that was the whole thing was just shattered. And that's what happened. Basically, SKUIJKE and Rusta found Ival, found T-Bone, and that was the winning move from ENCE there.
Knights with 2 second places so far, guys. It's looking kind of impressive to me.
And a lot of kills.
And a lot of kills. I would say that they are currently ahead in the PGC points, if my calculations are correct. But we're talking points, like that can be counted on 1 hand, maybe 2 hands. It's gonna be close. We're 52 games through now here.
It feels like it's truly not going to be decided until the very last week. Last games kind of ass.
And it's going to be a super week as well. We're going to have 21 games in the very last week. So much stuff can happen from day to day. Both PGC points, phase points. We're going to have the top 8 is looking to get into the money, to get even further into the money as well. So I'm excited.
Guys,
it's already looking very good.
We're moving on from Miramar. Sandhawk next, coming up. Expectations?
TRYFFELI, he had a cheeky smile on there, and I like that Pala addressed it a little bit there.
Pushed him.
They were excited, but they're also on Sandhawk looting an inferior loot location, far away from everything.
Yeah.
And with long rotations to basically anywhere they go. So I don't know. I'm kind of sad that they're not in one of the top spots because they could easily have contended for one of the better spots compared to the looting docks and like the southeastern area of the map.
Liquid currently 260 places, 0 kills for today.
Yeah,
they are the best team here on Sanhok by far as well, and they still haven't gotten a win there. So hopefully they'll get it now in the next game here.
They don't have a chicken dinner world tour at all then?
No, they only got 1 win on Miramar so far.
They're in a weird spot this phase so far.
They're, as I pointed this out kind of earlier, if you want to be ahead of the meta and be meta-defining, you need to try some different stuff out. And in a phase where you have 1 win, you're still in the top 4, you are nearly 40 points ahead of 5th place.
Yeah.
I would say if you're still trying to define a new meta, trying to maybe get ahead of the pack for PGC, for next season, for everything, this is the time to do it. They're confidently still in the top 4.
All right, well, thank you, gentlemen. Of course, you can join in with the conversation over on Twitter as well with the hashtag AskPEL. So make sure to keep sending those questions our way, and we'll be able to address some of them here live on the show. For now, though, we're going to go to a short break. When we return, we're going to have Sanhok on the way here for PEL. But before that, let's throw some of our players into a survival situation.